Hello, welcome to Gomera's Garage. So what are you looking at is a 2008 Nissan Altima. We're going to replace the catalytic converter because it's calling the engine light is calling for the catalytic converter. So this particular video is just showing you how to remove it and install it. If this is interest you, just stay tuned. And also, if this video helpful, please consider to subscribe, like, and share so we can grow this channel and hopefully we can help more people. So without further ado, let's get to it. So we're at the bottom of the car right now. As you can see, this is the connection of the catalytic converter and the exhaust downpipe. Where we are now going to remove the three nut that holds the catalytic converter, and I'm going to fast forward this video a little bit by bit, or pretty much most of it, because it's a long process. As you can see, right now I'm removing the nut, and maybe you notice I'm using an induction heater to heat up the nut so that it will be a lot easier to remove, because you don't really heat this up, it's really a struggle. You could actually round the nut and then you're gonna have a lot of issues. So by doing this, it will help a lot, like a lot. If you can have access with the torch or anything like that, it would be very helpful. So here it is. I remove all three. Now just pry it out a little bit here. You don't have to remove all the way. So now we're at the top of the engine. You're gonna remove the shield cover. With this, you don't really need a heat sink. You don't need to heat it, but in my case, but sometimes probably you need it. But in my case, you don't need it. So there's all four bolts all together here, 4 or 5. So now I'm removing the wire for oxygen sensor to have a space here. So now I'm trying to squeeze this thing out. Be careful with the wire. So here it is. Now it's removed. The shield is removed. Now we'll continue to remove the ground here for the alternator. You really have to move the alternator. You don't have to remove it, but you actually need to remove the alternator down, but you don't have to, like, you'll see in a minute how I did it. But right now I'm taking out all the connection. Make sure you remove the negative battery so that you don't have the, by accident, you short the system. So just make sure that you remove the negative battery for this operation. So you can see now the wire is removed. Just put it aside, and here now I'm trying to remove this alternator bracket here on the top. So you're gonna have to be a little bit creative here, because it's really tight out down there. There's two bolt for the alternator bracket to the engine, So you're gonna have to find a better way to remove it. What I just used a wrench for now. So I remove at the top the alternator bolt. So here it is. So I managed to remove the bolt for to the engine. And here's the bracket, right? So now I'm put a lubrication or penetrating oil for the nut for the exhaust manifold, because it also is really rusty. So you gotta be careful of this when going to remove it. If you can heat it up, it will be better, but in my case I don't really think that you need the heat to heat it up, because the nut is still in good condition. So but you have to kind of a good leverage there. So as you can see, the alternator at this moment, I move it front, forward. I move forward a little bit so that I can squeeze my wrench there for the nut on the very front of the manifold. So you gotta be careful when you're removing this nut, because if you make them round, that's gonna be a lot of problems. And even the thread, you don't want to lose the thread. So do your diligence, be careful, and put a lot of penetrating oil. That will help a lot. So here it is now, dried out a little bit here. Now this catalytic converter are ready to go. So you can remove it slowly. Make sure you don't hit any wires, especially the oxygen sensor. There it is. So now we're going to remove the gasket, which is really dirty, lots of corrosion here. So I'm going to wire brush this later, and now I'm gonna wire brush the engine manifold first, the engine side. So here's the clean exhaust manifold gasket. I didn't put a new gasket there because I'm putting a used catalytic converter. But if you put a new catalytic converter, it would be best. Or even if you still use, if you can afford to get a used, new gasket, just get new gasket. So here's the catalytic converter now. Like I said, this is a used catalytic converter that I put on. Let's put the nut in. Putting now the oxygen sensor, but this is a good time to clean up clean the oxygen sensor too. If you're putting back the old one. And here I am putting the engine mount bracket for the alternator. So before you close it, you close the alternator or put the alternator back. Make sure you put the heat shield back for the manifold, because it's gonna be hard to put it in. So yeah, before you put the alternator back into its place. Here it is. So I just push the alternator back in, put the bolt, put back all the wires that you took it out, and that's pretty much it. At this point, you're done. That's it. Thank you for watching.